fat tires won't dig into gravel, sand, soft soils, or forest trails. The tires also absorb shocks from the road for a more comfortable ride.
Okay, Phil, what are some basic maintenance questions that you get, or things that you look at in a chair when it comes in? What are you going to work on first?
Okay, well basically when we get a chair in, what I'll do is I will start off, well, most of the times right on the front of the chair, and what I'll do is I will work on the front caster wheels. And basically on these here, the most important things is when we clean them out, we want to make sure that we get the bearings and everything all either replaced or cleaned out thoroughly. And then one of the most common things that we see is on the swivel for the caster wheels. If there's a nut in underneath here, and what happens, well, we have to remove the little cap. I don't know if you want me to do that or not, okay. But the bearings inside, and if the nut loosens up, this here is free to swivel very sloppily.
And that's what caster flutter is?
Well, basically what will happen is when you're going along and all of a sudden the wheel starts wobbling back and forth or fluttering, what causes that is this being too loose, and inside there's a nut, and underneath the nut there's like a nylon washer. And basically what it does is it adds friction to prevent this from wobbling back and forth. And the ideal situation would be I would drop it, would swing down and stop. That would be the perfect adjustment for it to minimize flutter. Daily basis. My absolute favorite cleaning product is the Simple Green. And the purpose for that is it's environmentally friendly. It's totally biodegradable, and it works great. It really does. Another product that I use on a daily basis is the Goo Gone. And this here it's a citrus product, and like the Simple Green, it is environmentally friendly, and it is totally biodegradable. It's 100% safe. Third product that I use on a regular basis, it's not quite as environmentally safe and as clean as these here, but it's a lubricant, and it's WD-40. I use that. I use it on the different bearings. I use it for cleaning. I use it for a number of different things. What we'll look at.
Therese, welcome to my workshop. This is the basement of my house where I spent the time to rehab the Landys wheelchair for my final project. A couple things I want to point out are some of the solutions that I use that were recommended by the REM Center. I use Simple Green to really clean the wheelchair. It was really, really filthy from sitting around. I cleaned all of the seating areas, the backrest area, the place where your feet can be placed. I Simple Greened all of the stainless steel parts, as well as the tires themselves, and the simulated wood grain finish on the arms. I also used WD-40 as recommended on any of the movable pieces to the chair, including the piece here where the top comes down, and any of the moving joints and parts that could benefit from WD-40. The caster flutter that I brought out in my paper that I was trying to address, this is the front casters to the Landys chair. In the YouTube videos, it was mentioned that if you took the cap off the cylinder of the front caster wheels, there was an adjustment that could be made inside the cylinder to tighten down the bolt there to avoid the caster flutter. If you look inside the cylinder on the Landies, there is no such adjustment. So there is no caster adjustment available on the Landies chair. I actually called the manufacturer and spoke at length with the customer service person, and was told that this entire unit is one unit, and the axle and cylinder can be replaced for approximately $200 if caster flutter is of a concern. The other piece I want you to note here is that this is spot welded here, and I did not want to break that weld and delve any deeper into the cylinder piece to this chair. So from the manufacturer, I was also told or asked whether someone was sitting in the chair or not when I noticed the caster flutter, and there was nobody sitting in the chair. I just was using the chair up and down the driveway of my home and noticed a slight flutter, and the customer service representative said, well, that's not the intent of the use of the Landies. It is intended for weight to be placed in the chair, and if weight was placed in the chair, you know, it was posed to me whether I still saw the caster flutter or not, and indeed, as I put my daughter in the chair and wheeled her up and down the driveway, there was no caster flutter evident. It was just, I noticed it when the chair was empty, and, you know, made the leap thinking that was an issue, and in reality that there is not. But I had a nice conversation with the manufacturer and learned a lot about the chair from that phone call. So I just want to show how easy it is to, I'll have to edit that, remove and put the wheels back on for ease of transport. I've got all the wheels back on except for this front caster wheel, which I'll put on right now. And it has a pin where you just press down to the top to release and lock the pin. The wheel goes back on, hold down the button, push through, and sometimes it's a little tricky to line up. Edit this. And then the wheels go on that easily, and the back wheels go off as easily as well. This is an optional piece. This can be removed if the user doesn't want the footrest. This can be removed. The arm is liftable so that the transfer is easy onto the chair. Both of these are pneumatic tires, which I took down to our local gas station to be sure that the pounds per square inch were appropriate for both wheels, and it's between 2 and 4 pounds per square inch for both tires. And after I filled them, I checked it once again with a gauge, and it has maintained that pressure in the wheels. And so basically that is my rehab of the wheelchair. This piece right here again is optional as well. It is a way of steering left or right in snow or other rugged terrain. It's an optional piece, and it can be removed. And the next time you see me will be when we take the student on the walking field trip to a local spot and see if it allows her to access the outdoor curriculum as we had planned.